So we are SNIK, and it's Nick and Laura. We've been painting together for about 9 years. Originally came together painting the walls, and then bit by bit we started doing photo shoots together and realised 2 brains better than 1, and 4 hands is better than 2, especially when it came to the big balls. And we've been lucky that it's gelled well, to be honest.
There's a massive benefit of being a duo, especially for stencils, because you have big sheets and you've got 2 people working on that level, makes it faster. And also it's nice to have 2 different approaches. We have quite a big discussion before, because with stencil art you have to really focus on the concept before. So a lot of our work is done before we even start painting or cutting, because you've got to make sure your visuals are there.
I would say that we've got the same mindset in terms of design and the aesthetic we want to give, but the difference we do have is I'm quite particular towards the end, and it can get, like, I like to spend a lot of time but like really tidying it up. Well, tidying up after Nick has his tornado storm, so that's where we're different, but we want the same end result, but we'll just use,
I'm a really fast, messy painter. I'll just put a fat cap on, blast it off, and then I'd be happy to walk away from it. And then Laura's like, loves actually just cleaning and tidying up after me, basically.
I think it's more like with the stencil game, it's important to have that weird OCD thing at the start, because if you do the cutting right, then you can piss around afterwards and then you can square it all up. We've got a method down, well we should after 9 years, we should if we didn't.
I used to eat a lot of Snickers bars growing up, so my mum used to call me Snickers. And then SNIK's like a nice little 4-letter tag thing, so it's nice and quick and punchy.
Like Nick started it, and when I joined in 2010, why change something if it works? So we've got our own little identity of what we do and have our own little side projects, but that develops then what we do together, because then you're both bringing new ideas. If you're both still working on the same thing, it's not going to grow.
Yeah, we like constant progression. Like, I don't like going to a wall when you know exactly what you're going to do, which you can have with stencil art.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have that expression and freedom, you know, it can be a bit bland. So if you do go to a wall that's a bit shit, that's all actually a little bit more fun. Even on the day you don't realise it, but sometimes when you get problems and mistakes, that's when you can do your best stuff.
But it's progression in the same sense of, like, so say you're on Instagram and you're going through on the stories, if somebody comes up and you know exactly what they're going to put, you're just going to scroll by, whereas I never want us to be like that. I want it to be, what have they just done now, what's new? In terms of our technique, we used to put little bits of paper on bigger pieces of paper and cut through, but then that restricted you to size. So then we started getting bigger sheets of paper, cutting those. Then we would stop cutting as it was printed and start kind of sketching out with cutting. That's one of the main reasons we hand cut. So then when it's on the wall, you can be more free, but then you can tidy it up.
We're always hand cut. No issue people using machines at all. Do what you do. But you know, this day and age, everything's digital, everything's done by machines. It's nice to keep a bit of craft and handwork. And for me, it's quite a nice sort of like thing to do, spend like, you know, 10 hours cutting something out. I really struggle to focus on pretty much anything else, but I can just sit, put music on and cut by hand.
I'd also like to think it's part of our signature as SNIK as well, because not a lot of people do it, so at least we can say, no, this is us, this is what we do. And if I like to think that if people talk about hand cut stencils, they might mention us.
It's a terrible idea, really, like, you know, sitting and cutting by yourself for hours and hours on end just to paint one piece and chuck them away. But that's the thing, you can get a machine, press bang and do it. It's cool, but
I can guarantee if there was 2 images, one was laser cut and then one we hand cut, and you put them side by side, there would be a difference.
But there's no problem with using machines or lasers. It's just that for us, we believe in hand cut, we believe in hand producing craft. So that's important for us, really.
I think, so I actually had this conversation a minute ago downstairs in terms of the impact you can have on communities. It depends on the area and how commercial it is. So there's a lot of places that are run down and they do get the walls painted there, but then people go, I can make some money out of that. And it changes the concept completely. This is not a place that will do that. This is 100% for the community, 100% for giving something back and just improving. You know, if you're walking down the street, you're gonna wanna see a bit of colour rather than just the shops and the grey. And I 100% believe that community-wise, this is incredible, but there is some dangers of some places taking the mick out of it, really.
The beauty of like the new Brighton project and what ROCKPOINT are doing up here is that they're not just trying to do it for high-end galleries or something. It's that they're trying to make it for art that can engage with the public and make it for everyone. And make the area better for the people that live here and grew up here. You know, these places have been forgotten by the councils and the government. You need someone like Dan to step in and the crew at ROCKPOINT to actually really care about the community and do it for a reason that they're like, we want to help this area, and then there is no concern as far as I'm concerned. These guys aren't trying to make money, they're trying to make the area better, which for me is the exact point of why we believe in it and why I think a lot of other artists believe in it, because it's giving a shit basically. Sort of the reason that we did what we did from the beginning. We just liked going and painting in areas, and growing up into art when I was younger, the art scene was always like a clique. It was always about, you had to be highly educated to go into a gallery, you had to be able to, it was like you'd be looked down on. There's a certain element of, it was only for certain sort of people. The beauty of street art is that it can benefit a community. It can make people that wouldn't normally care about art or be into art sort of engage with it on that level. And that's why you put it on a wall in the public and you don't have to, you know, change the area. You're just giving something away for free, which I think some people just find bizarre, but that for me is the whole beauty of what we do. But
it could also like enhance businesses. So if you know you've got a cafe, a tattoo shop, a restaurant, even just your corner shop with somebody's artwork gets painted in it, that is a little bit well known, you might go, oh fuck, when I'm in this area, I kind of want to go and visit there to see that piece. So that's a way it can enhance a business as well.
This country lately with the street art scene has really become about advertising and making money and trying to just make a quick buck out of the artists and everything else. This project's the first project we've seen in years that is the exact opposite, and it's just purely about trying to make something better for people and not asking for anything back. It's the whole point of
that's so fucking rare
it's the whole
nowadays,
point.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the whole point of why we do this, because the fucking beauty of what we do.
Well, someone to send earlier was like, I was meant to go home tomorrow, but I'm not anymore. I'm going to stay up here and paint, and that shows because you don't want to stick around if you've got commitments, especially around like Christmas family time. But the fact that they're like, no way, I'm going to stay for another 2 days and I do want to do this, that in itself speaks for what these guys do here.
Yeah, it's going to change the game, because it's about time it did.
Well, we've just fucking done a solo show, and so I'm kind of a bit like, can we just chill for a minute?
Plans for next year. We just finished our first wall for ROCKPOINT today. We're going to come back and do another one, and then there's a lot of other plans in the pipeline up here. And then next year, hopefully go and paint somewhere warm for once would be really nice. But we've just spent a year in the studio, so just go and do more walls, travel a little bit, and just, we like to get out there and paint street as much as we like to do the gallery game.
That's where your game develops on the street. That's where you push yourself and go, right, you don't want to keep on seeing the same image. So we'll do a couple of year of walls with a few prints dotted around, but then that grows us enough that when we do our next show, that'll be something else. No, and like we're more than willing to hold our hands up and be like, we're not hard. Like we love what we do, and it would be shit to be kind of pushed and running around like, we don't do graffiti, that's not what we do. We do murals and we enjoy doing it. And I think to sit here and that's just not us.
We don't front. Very aware of what the graffiti scene did, but we're not going to try and pretend that we were carrying that. A lot of our mentors and stuff, the people that paved the way for us, they've gone through it, but we grew up in a sleepy little Midlands town.
Well, I suppose this sums it up. I remember once doing a paste up where we live. Did a quick paste up because obviously it wasn't our wall, we didn't own it, we didn't get permission, so the easiest way to do stuff like that sometimes is just a paste up. And we put the paste up, turned around, and an old lady grabbed it and just ripped it off straight away. So that's her place in her area, isn't it? The SNIK legacy. I suppose for me personally, and I'm not a big feminist, and I think sometimes feminists can shoot themselves in the foot by being a bit too extreme. But I'd like to think that there's enough occasions where women that have come up to me do paint and be like, I love that you paint, I love that you're in the foreground. And not only just by myself in the foreground, but with another man. It's not all about if you want to be strong with it, doing it by yourself. You can work as a team. So in terms of legacy, I'd like to think I can do the encouragement to help like women step forward and be more prominent in street art, because that is fair and few between. So for me personally, that's just my little legacy that I'd like to leave.
Fully on that. For me personally, I didn't really have an art education or anything else, and it was never an option to become an artist. And I'd sort of like to think that we can sort of inspire and let people know that you don't have to go to uni, you don't need a degree, you can actually just come from the middle of nowhere and be an artist. It is an option. if you want it enough, you've got a gun for it.
Personally, I think to collaborate, don't pick someone that does the same style as you, because then you just get lost. To talk about some of our collaborations, our most recent one was with...
Dead or Alive?
No, I know, I'm getting there.
You're going down a rabbit hole.
But to prove that was when we did our collaboration with Nuno, that was two completely different styles. So me personally, I'd go for like an Alex Pardee, someone completely opposite. We're more like urban contemporary, a bit more fine art, whereas Alex Pardee is bold colours.
Do you mean anyone ever? David Bowie. Because he believed in art, he wasn't just a musician. Everything about Bowie was, you know, fashion, art, music. He was one of the most creative people I think that's ever existed. He believed in just being a general creative. And I just think, even as a level, just even sitting down and having a conversation with him about art, there's a lot of quotes he always said about artists, and the best one was always like, always work when your feet just don't touch the bottom. When you're a little bit out of your depth, that's when you do your best work, because you're pushed. I think it'd be sick to work with him. Even just hang out with him and have a beer. Don't let one person's opinion make your judgment about your future. Art's subjective. Someone says your work's shit, it's only one person's opinion. And if you want it enough, just don't let anyone step on you or get in the way. Just have some faith in yourself and gun for it. That's all we did. We were no better than anyone else. We just really love what we do. And we just didn't want to have office and day jobs all day, every day. It sounds super cliche, but there is no secret recipe to it.
I think like you've got to have a certain amount of people around you. So there's the Montana shop in Nottingham was the first place where we went, and Nick personally got like his first spray can there. And I always give big props to people like that, that even if they're in the game, instead of just giving a cold shoulder and being like, yeah, well, I've got this far, it's them people opening up. And we've only got to where we are through those people opening up. People are nicer than you expect, don't hesitate to ask questions. Sat in bed and had Snickers ice cream last night.
Yeah,
so
like,
that's my
pretty much every other day. Always get a Snickers Duo though. Always get a bigger one.
Snickers Duo, honestly.
Best chocolate bar in the world,
How much of a drop
man.
line is that if there's been a duo?
I'll ask you a question. Favourite chocolate bar?
I can tell you chocolate bars I hate. Hate a picnic. Hate a double decker. I hate chocolate in the fridge.
Double Decker's the best chocolate bar going. Chocolate in the fridge is amazing. Or a Boost bar.
See, different brains.
Just don't know your chocolate bar.